Hi guys, it's Rob from Rob Digs Gaming, and this is a review of Palladium Books' attempt at a superhero game. It's Heroes Unlimited, the revised edition that was published in the late 80s, 1987 I think. It's light on background and setting material and fairly heavy on character creation ideas. And when they say Heroes Unlimited, they aren't kidding. They throw practically every kind of character they have from any other publication they've put out into a single book. So there's lots of characters to choose from, and this was basically used as a source book for creating characters and bringing them through into rifts. So on the cover you've got the guy that can do the thing with the girl, and the other guy, apparently flight seems to be fairly common. They all look rather humanish, but we'll take a look inside and see what it's all about. You can create a character that's an alien, a character that has bionics, one that's derived its powers through an experiment of some kind, a Punisher type character that specializes in hardware, the magic character, mutants, physical training, psionics, robotics, or special training. If you decide to play an alien, you get to randomly roll your alien appearance, which can vary from an insect type alien to an amphibian to looking like a humanoid canine. You can also roll randomly for the physiological modification due to unearthly environments, which would mean that perhaps your alien came from a planet with high radiation, so you'd receive bonuses, or low or high gravity. That would give you certain bonuses. If you chose a bionic character, you'd roll to determine your budget for building your character, anywhere from 6.6 to 9.5 million. And it would seem that from an early age I'm trying to screw over the characters, because my little side note there, I gave $100 million for the villain. So you'd build your cyborg, and you'd have the condition that caused you to resort to a bionic reconstruction. If you had a sponsoring organization, what kind of organization it was, and then you'd basically go through and choose your components. So a basic hand would be $300,000, an arm $700,000, so you could spend your budget fairly quickly, and you'd basically acquire superpowers by having bionic implants. So amplified hearing would be equal to the minor super ability, and it'd give you a heightened sense of hearing with the included bonuses. And that would cost you $350,000 out of your budget. And we go through all the body parts, weapons built into your bionic character. Here's Wolverine type forearm blades. A little diagram there on how those work. That's kind of neat. And then bionic legs, other parts of the torso, bionic spine and shoulders, and kind of a fun character to create. If you got your superpowers through an experiment, you would roll again to choose, to determine your superpowers. You could have up to 2 major superpowers or 5 minor super abilities, and you could also have a side effect, which are also permanent, which was physical appearance, or sometimes an extra bonus like being able to breathe without air, having no facial features. It's kind of neat. Increased mass, and what have you. You've got the super soldier option as far as an experiment, sort of a military testing, conducting experiments on its soldiers, and it would create a super soldier. The hardware character is a skill specialist. You can be either an electrical, mechanical, or a weapons engineer, and from there you'd be able to do things like hot wire vehicles, hack computers. You could build your own super vehicle, and basically like a Punisher or a Batman kind of hero, you'd be able to create for yourself the hardware you needed to be a superhero. A lot of these rules for creating vehicles are covered in other Palladium publications, such as the Roadhogs game and Ninjas and Super Spies, and they carry them over to this game as well. The magic-based character is largely taken from the Palladium fantasy publication. Even the artwork is carried over from that book. By being a magic character, you roll to determine the source of your magic. Either you're the wielder of an enchanted weapon, an enchanted object, you study the mysticism, or you've got magic bestowed on you. If you decide to play a mutant, you can roll on a couple tables to determine the cause of the mutation and some kind of strange aberration to your character, unusual characteristics table, odd hair color, odd skin color, perhaps you're double jointed. But the major bulk of the section is a carryover from the TMNT game, which allows you to create a mutant animal. And again, this is practically a reprint of the rules from TMNT and Other Strangeness, including the artwork. But always a fun character to create. The mutant animal gives you an abbreviated section or abbreviated selection of animals to choose from. But yeah, basically a direct pullover from TMNT. By far the lamest of all the different hero types is the physical training character. I guess this is supposed to be the peak of human performance. You know, you are the Olympian or the gymnast or the physically fit character that determines or decides to be a superhero. With this character type, you get to choose 8 physical skills and add 20% to your skill roll. 3 espionage skills plus 20%. A few minor bonuses. You get a power punch and a power kick, and a force of will that allows you to stay on your feet if you're even if you're below your hit points. The Psionics character is another direct carryover from the Palladium fantasy game. It basically gives you the list of psionic abilities. The robotics section is virtually the same as the bionic section, except that you are the robot, or you are piloting a robot and you're not an augmented human. So again, you roll on a budget and then you select a type of body, insect, android, exoskeleton, or a robot that operates without a human pilot. And basically then you just go through the steps of creating the robot. It has programming with its own skills and can be fairly human-like, I guess, but also can be just an operated piece of equipment, basically. The special training section has some character options that have a good amount of flavor. Basically, you spent your life dedicated to some sort of specialty, and so you can either play as an ancient martial arts master, which gives you a bunch of combat bonuses and a few special skills, such as being able to feign your death or having a cleansing spirit. You can also play the hunter vigilante type of hero. It's kind of fun, lots of skills. Basically, those are all chosen for you. You can play as a secret operative, James Bond kind of character. A stage magician, that would give you sleight of hand, contortionist skills, juggling. You can also play as a detective, a super sleuth. That's kind of a fun character concept. Gives you computer hacking and special spy equipment. If you're one of the characters that actually has a special super ability, then there's a section that just lists all of those. You can randomly roll them again, as practically everything can be done in this game. Or you can power game your way through and choose your powers that you want to fit your character, or the ones that provide the biggest punch. Alter physical structure fire being a favorite. I believe there's one here that gives you 800 SDC if you alter your body to metal. Yeah, here it is. Alter physical structure metal. It gives you an AR of 17 and 800 SDC. Basically indestructible. One of the more enjoyable options in the game is the ability to create the crazy hero, which has some funny quirks to it. Your character can be otherwise normal, but through some sort of trigger can go into a frenzy, sort of like a berserker or a barbarian's rage. Intense pain or intense tension can set off your character, which would make his or her magic or superpowers manifest themselves. You can also have your powers manifest themselves by association with some other kind of event. You can either have a daytime or nighttime complex, a Popeye syndrome, power words, things like that. if you have a Popeye syndrome, you can have your powers go off only by eating something like chicken livers or a pig's ear, and only through the eating those items would you be able to use your superpower, because you basically have yourself tricked into thinking that you're powerless without it. You can have a multiple personality, and one of the things that the Palladium games like to get into is insanity. You can have up to 6 personalities, and some or all would not have superpowers. So you could play a Jack the Ripper type of character, or even the psychopath, and then there are sections on insanities and the effects that the insanities have on your character. And the last thing about this book I wanted to point out is a bit of a surprise, is that I didn't realize growing up that the book contained artwork by Jeff D., who has since become one of my favorite RPG artists. And smattered throughout the book are bits of artwork by Jeff, and that was a nice thing to see. I'd enjoyed this artwork growing up as a kid, and it's only as an adult that I've come to know the artwork of Jeff D. So that's Heroes Unlimited. Again, it wound up being just a source book for riffs, but a good compilation of character types and a fun character creation exercise. Thanks, and I'll see you again.